Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassandra Williams of Cassandra Williams Enterprise. I am your victory coach. And what do? I help wives, busy professional women, and kingdom leaders build the life that they've always dreamed of and live there. And we are here for the morning tea. And what is the morning tea? The morning tea is just a little teaching that at the end of this teaching, I hope that you will feel equipped. I hope you feel empowered. I hope you feel encouraged. And I hope you feel educated. I hope I teach you something. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Raquel. Thank you for coming in this morning. I want to teach you a little something. And then once you learn that, I want you to be able to apply it. I want you to be able to apply it to your life when you leave this broadcast. Okay. Good morning, Renee. Thanks for coming in. Good morning, Mommy. I missed y'all too. Listen, Coach had to take a minute, right? Hey, Katina. Just a little bit of a break because listen, we finished that first half really, really, really strong. The Lions Den was amazing. The worship night was, yeah, it was all that. Okay. So if you missed it, you really missed the treat. Um, but we are here for third quarter huddle. We have crossed over into July. You made it, okay? No matter what happened the first half of the year, guess what? You're still here. You might be tattered, you might be battered, you may be bruised a little bit, but you are still here, right? So when I was thinking about this lesson today, I was thinking about I used to play basketball. Yes, y'all. I used to play basketball. I'm a basketball girl. And the second, after the second half, you go into the halftime. You go into the locker room and the coach would talk to you and you would kind of look at and gauge what happened during the first part of the game, right? And so I want you to take some time today and I want you to look at the first half of the year. I know Corona happened, social injustice, racial unrest, all of that happened. So I want you to take inventory of, oh my God, this is what happened. Then I also want you to take inventory of how did you handle it? What did you do? Did you implement, did you apply what you had been learning? Because many of us, if we really look at it, if we turn off the news, okay, if we disconnect from what everybody else is saying and what everybody else is doing, some of you are going to see that God is doing what he said. He's yet still moving. You still winning. You're still in the lead. No matter what it looks like right now, you're still in the lead that God has still, he's preserved you. He has been taking care of you. He said, I'm the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. He has transferred some money. He showed you how to save over these last few months because some of us was getting out of control. Guilty. um, because it was just easier to go through the drive-through. It was just easier to do certain things. But since we were quarantined, we were staying at home. Some things settled down in my life. And when I really think about it, I was like, God, I hate what has happened to some people in their life. I hate that people have had to, good morning, Anita, people have lost their lives. I hate all of that. But when I look at my life personally, God has been good, y'all. He has been so good to me and my family. And so I want you to take inventory today. I don't want you to have a mob mentality. I want you to really look at your life and see where you are. What is God doing in your life? Because remember, we each have a part to play on this team, right? We're Team Jesus, right? We're in the body of Christ. So what is your part to play? And so when we go into the locker room at halftime, the coach tells us we take inventory. What's going on? What are we doing right? What are we not doing right? What are some of the things that we've missed that we didn't know about? I remember we were in a basketball game one day, and our coach was like, "Why aren't y'all getting the rebounds?" And we were like, "They keep pushing us." And he was like, because he didn't, we were taught the real fundamentals of, basketball. And so he said, okay. And I said, but you told us not to foul out, right? I said, you told us we can't hit them, right? We can't hit them or do anything like that. He said, okay. He said, the next time they push you, push back. Because what they were doing was they were putting their legs between our legs and just gently moving forward. So it wasn't an offensive foul. The referee couldn't see it, right? So are there some things that the ref has missed? Is there some things that the enemy has been doing and there has not been a whistle to call the foul, right? And so our coach was like, push back. He said, mm-mm. He said, the next time they put their leg right there and they push, you push back. And that's what we did. And when we pushed back, they all hit the floor. And the referee was looking at us like, what? And we just standing there looking like, we have no idea what you're talking about. But can I tell you what happened? They didn't push us again. They didn't try that move again. It became a fair game. But guess what happened? That information was given to us at halftime. So this is your halftime, okay? And so coach is telling y'all, I need you to be intentional, okay? This is your halftime. This is your third quarter huddle that I just came to give you a few little nuggets this morning to get you through. And my nugget for you today is you got to be intentional, okay? You can't be passive. You can't just let the rest of the year, you're like, whew, we made it through June. Jesus, thank you. And we're excited about that. But can I tell you, July is not going to take care of itself. You've got to do the work. Good morning, Cheryl. Thanks for coming in. I put up a post yesterday and it said faith moves. Now that can be a declaration, faith moves, or it can be a noun, a statement that my faith, I'm doing moves in faith, right? And so James 2:26, for as the body without breath or the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead. Y'all, we got to continue to work. We got to continue to stay in motion. Whatever momentum you had the first half, I need you to keep that momentum. Coach, I didn't have no momentum the first half. Okay, well, I need you to get moving. Okay. And when you get moving this time, we're going to stay moving. We're going to stay in motion. It is easier to stay in motion than it is to start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Okay. And I used to be, listen, y'all. I used to be the president, the CEO, the treasurer. Good morning, Cheryl, and everything for the Start Stop Ministry. I was started, but you mean you wanted me to continue it? No, I don't want to do it again. I just want to do it one time to prove that I could do it. And some of you are like that. You do a lot of things well. You do them very well, but you're not consistent. So I want you to be intentional this year. You're going to have to think about what you're doing. I don't just roll out of bed and say, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to go live at 6:30 in the morning, right? I know I was a little late this morning, but give me a little grace, okay? But the thing is, you don't just roll out of the bed and say, oh, I'm going to go live today. No, I have to be intentional to go live at 6:30 in the morning. Now, catch me at noon. Hey, I might just be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going live, right? But you 6:30 in the morning? Oh no, that's on purpose. Okay? That's in purpose, on purpose. So faith without works is dead. So a lot of us can talk a good game. A lot of us have talked a good game. That's like that player that wants to say, I can do this on the court and I'm a baller and my jump shot is fierce, but they ain't got nothing to back it up. Can you back up what you've been saying? Can your faith show me? Show me by your faith. Your faith, you show me your faith, because a lot of people talk faith, but you show me your faith by your works. Because faith moves. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if you have faith, there should be some movement. There should be some action attached to that faith. If you believe that he's a healer, then you're going to start walking like you're already healed. If you really believe that God is Jehovah Jireh, You're going to walk like he is a provider, right? If you believe that God has called you to decree a thing and it shall be established, you won't be silent. They won't be able to keep your mouth closed, because you know that every time you start to speak, things are being moved around and things are being put into place. You're forming. You form things by your words, but God blesses the works of your hands. So once you speak it, you start moving in that thing. You should start acting like it's already happened. What am I saying? What are you saying, coach? If God told you to write a book, write the book. If you have faith that God told you write the book, then the corresponding actions to that belief that God told me to write this book is I start writing the book. He didn't tell you to be concerned about how you were going to publish it. He didn't tell you to be concerned about who was going to buy it. He didn't tell you to be concerned about all the details. You're concerned about all of these details, and you haven't even done the first step. You haven't even written the title down. You haven't even started the document to write the book. Okay. And so that's a simple thing. God may have been calling you to do a great thing. He may have given you a nonprofit or an organization, and you haven't even written down the name of the organization or even started looking up nonprofits or writing out the vision. Okay. So third quarter huddle, be intentional. I need y'all to be intentional, because Deuteronomy 2:7, the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. What have you been putting your hands to? What are those things you've been putting your hands to? And if you haven't been putting your hands to anything, guess what? That might be why you're not seeing anything. You don't just go out into a farm and not plant. You didn't plant anything, but you go out there expecting the harvest. Where we do that at? That's not going to happen. That's just crazy. You have to plant. You have to do something in order to get something, right? And so the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. He has watched over your journey through this vast wilderness. Can I tell y'all, God has been watching over us? These 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you, and you have not lacked anything. Can I tell you, the Lord your God has been with you over these last 2, 3, 4 months, and you have not lacked anything? You may not have, now listen, you may not have everything that you want, but when you really look at it, have you really lacked anything? Have you just been like, okay, I'm outside, I'm homeless, have you really lacked anything? And many of us have to say, no, we haven't. Many of us are going to come out of this pandemic better than we went in. Many of us are going to see some transference of some things on the other side of this, right? So I need you to continue to be intentional. Don't get lax. Don't slack up. Don't be like, whew. Now, I mean, catch your breath. Now, during that halftime period, we take a breath. We get some look. We get our water, and we hydrate, and we get instructions. But when we go back onto the court, when we go back into the field, you've got to be intentional. What did you learn the first half of this year? What did you see? Because many of us came in and it was like, man, we're good. We were ready for 2020, right? We were like, 2020, this is my year. Da, 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 da. We was ready. And then Corona came, COVID-19. And we were like, wait. And then social injustice. And it was like, listen, hold on, wait a minute. I wasn't ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. The looting, we weren't ready. But what did you learn from the first half? What has God told you that is your position to play? If you're supposed to be praying, pray. If you're supposed to be singing, sing. If you're supposed to be fasting, fast. If you're supposed to be writing, write. Whatever it is that he's told you to do, that's what you do. Okay? But be intentional about it. Because as things begin to die down, as things begin to settle a little bit, what are your instructions? Because some people are gonna just kind of be they're gonna settle back in. They're gonna try to settle back into there used to be normal. Can I tell you things are not supposed to be normal or whatever that word means? Um, things are not supposed to be normal. They're not supposed to go back to what they were. Because if things go back to the way they were, then guess what? You'll get what you've always gotten, right? And so we prayed for change. We're changing the narrative. We want change. So we've got to be intentional to maintain what God is doing right now in this season. And it may be feeling a little uncomfortable right now. You're having to do some things that is not familiar, but do it anyway. You read a similar word this morning. Amen, Raquel. But do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. Sometimes we're moved by we want to do everything based on how I feel. I don't feel like it. I don't like that. You may not like everything. I had to learn to eat stuff that I didn't like because it was good for me. I've learned to drink a few things, not a lot, but I've learned to drink a few of those little green smoothies um, because they're good for me. Not because I necessarily like them. Sometimes it's good for you. So you got to do some things that's good for you that may not feel good to your flesh. It may not feel good to your flesh to get up at 3, 4 in the morning, but that may be what God is requiring of you. You've got to be intentional about that relationship. Well, my kids got to do this because we in a month, in a month or so, we're going to start seeing some of the kids, go back to school or, do some things like that or have the school day. And whatever that day is going to look like for you, you may have to make some adjustments to your schedule to make sure that you get that quality time. I'm one of those people. I have to have that time with God or else I'm not I get I start to feel some kind of way. I'm just gonna be honest. Good morning, divinely aligned. I start to feel some kind of way when I don't do the things that I'm supposed to do. Right. My whole day be off. And I be yelling at everybody, screaming, and they be like, ooh. I remember when I used to work in corporate America, my coworkers, now they weren't saved, but they knew enough about Jesus to know that, okay, when Cassandra came in and she acted some kind of way, they would put me at my desk. They said, you stay right here. And they would put on worship music for me and they would leave me in my little space. And they said, we need you to get that all the way together. And they would do everything. They said, we just need you to sit right here for a minute. And I would be okay. Now, but I have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about what you're needing. You have to be intentional about what you're putting your hands to right now. You got to be intentional that some things you're not going to be able to do in this season. Some of you have been elevated, and some of you, God is putting you in a different position. Because sometimes, you have been the point guard, and now God is saying, I need you to play another position. And you're having a hard time adjusting to that new position. This is your third quarter huddle. You got to be flexible in this season. God is never going to ask you to do something you can't do. Can I say that again to somebody? God will never ask you to do something that you cannot do. You may not want to do it. It may be uncomfortable for you right now, but you can do it if God is asking you to do it. It just means you may have to go and do a little more research. You may have to learn a different technique, something different from what you've been known to do. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. You have the capacity. Remember, we talked about a week or so ago about the capacity. You have the capacity to do it. but you ain't really tapped into that place yet. So when you start being intentional, you start tapping into your capacity, and with repetition, building. You're building your muscle in that thing. You're building your skill in it. You're perfecting your skill set. It gets better. It'll get better, and you will learn how to do what you need to do, but you got to be intentional about it. Be intentional. So this is your third quarter huddle. The game is not over. We've crossed over into the second half, but it's not over yet. But I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? Shh, don't tell nobody, regardless of what it looks like, okay? Regardless of what it looks like right now, I got a secret for you. Spoiler alert, okay? Shh, don't tell nobody. You win. You win. If you continue to be intentional, the only way you don't win is if you go sit in the stands. The only way you don't win is if you move and leave your position. The only reason you don't win is when you don't move in faith, when you don't allow your faith to move. That's when you don't win. You don't win when you don't try. You don't win when you don't show up to the game. You can't win if you didn't show up. Good morning, Takesha. Thanks for coming in, sis. You can't win if you don't show up. Okay? That's how you don't win. But otherwise, as long as you show up, as long as you're consistent, as long as you're obedient, as long as you're intentional about what you're doing, you win the game. It's fixed, y'all. You can't lose. I don't care what it looks like right now. You can't lose as long as you're doing what God has told you to do. It's going to turn in your favor. So this has been your third quarter huddle. This has been the morning tea. Thank you guys so much for coming in this morning. For those of you that got here by way of a tag, a share, or invite, my name is Cassandra Williams of Cassandra Williams Enterprise, and I am your victory coach. My sole job is to help you get to the other side and live there. My sole job is to help you build the life that you've always dreamed of and live in it. I don't want you to come back over here to this side. I don't want you to go back to that place of doubt. I don't want you to go back and be like, "Ooh, well, I'm just going to go back to what I did in the first half and be in a ball call." No, use your team, collaborate, do those things that need to be done. You win. Keep growing, keep evolving, keep pushing. Okay? So if you would like to connect with me, please visit me at www.thecassandrawilliams.com. There's some amazing things coming out there. So go there so you can keep in touch with me, get on my email list. That way we can stay connected because there's some very important announcements that's going to be coming out, and you want to be a part of it. You want to get in the room. You don't want to always be hearing about what happened and what we did, and oh my God, we have an amazing time. But you want to be able to, yeah, Takesha, I want you to live in it. I want you to rest, rule, abide in that place, okay? And I don't want you to just, kind of make it through. I don't want you to just be surviving no more. I want you to thrive in that place, okay? So I want you to follow me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Periscope. Hey Periscope. I'm on Facebook. Hey Facebook. I'm working on my YouTube channel, so I'm about to be on YouTube. Um, but I have some amazing things about to drop. You don't want to miss them. You want to be able to get in the room, okay? If you've never been in the room with me, it's a treat. It is. We have a good time. I promise you. We work, but we have a good time. Okay. So love you guys to life. I hope something was said this morning that you feel during this teaching, you feel equipped, you feel empowered, you feel encouraged, and you feel educated. Did y'all learn something this morning? I hope you learned something. To act. So as you're going through your day, I want you to go through your day today, and I want you to really look at the first half. January through June. Look at this first half and see what did you do right? What was it like? Oh, coach, I messed that up. Oh my God, what was I thinking? That goes against the very fundamentals of what I've been taught. And adjust. Don't just keep doing the wrong thing. Adjust, okay? Make adjustments. Adjust your sales. Because remember, I told you, you win. You win. Okay? So make your adjustments, but do your work. Do the homework because it's going to serve you well to see what you've been doing, to see where you've been, to see where you need to tighten up a little bit, and then where you need to just say, I got that. Let's keep going in that vein. We're going to keep going in that vein. God, I don't like this, but for some reason, you keep telling me. Because here's the thing, y'all. When if you favor your right hand, right, when you're dribbling, okay, I'm gonna use a basketball analogy. If you're right-handed and you dribble with your right hand, if they know you can't go left, they're gonna be prepared for you to go right. So they're gonna keep stealing the ball from you. They're gonna keep putting pressure to make you go right and take the ball from you. And so sometimes the coach is going to tell you, I need you to go left. I don't like going left. Left is not familiar to me. Left is not my strong suit. But guess what? The defense is not prepared for you to go left. They're not prepared for that crossover. So some of y'all, it's time to cross over. Okay. They used to you using that right hand. Time to cross over. Use that left and get around the enemy. Okay. So that defensive player. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all win. Y'all win. This I just came in for a little third quarter huddle. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 6:30. Be blessed. Okay. Love you guys. Bye. That was for you, Takesha. Amen. All right, crossover. Hey, we're gonna be versatile, okay? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.